the lists, so I can have the judge sign them, and then if you want to go ahead and start, if you want, and the judge will be there in like 5 minutes.
Gotcha. I already signed it.
Yep.
You're slipping.
Yeah, I know.
I'm messing with you. You're perfect. Hello, everyone. My name's Officer King. I'm one of the adjudications officers at the Kansas City Field Office. The judge will be down here in just a few minutes. What's going to happen, it's going to be a fairly short ceremony due to the COVID restrictions. But when the judge comes in, the court clerk will open the proceedings. Obviously, everybody's already going to be standing, so you won't have to worry about that. The judge will make a few remarks when he first comes in, and then he will call on me to introduce everybody, make a motion to the court. At that point, I'll introduce everybody as a group to the judge and make a motion that you be administered the oath of allegiance. At a point after that, the court clerk will administer the oath. That's when everybody's going to raise their right hand and say the oath out loud. The court clerk's going to say it a few words or phrases at a time. You'll just repeat after the court clerk. Just make sure you say that full oath. It's the most important part of the ceremony. Once you're done saying the oath, then you'll be U.S. citizens. The judge will probably make a few remarks, and then once the ceremony is over, the marshals are going to have you probably go out around this side door over here. There's another door around this entrance, and there's an exit out here, and you'll go out that direction. After today, you will have noticed that we've taken your green cards from you. If you need to do any international travel after today's date, you have to do it with a U.S. passport. That's the only way you'll be able to get back into the United States should you leave the United States. For those of you with family members you want to have come here to this country, if you want to have someone move here permanently, or if you want to try to get somebody here, status here, the first step in that process is to file an I-130. That's Form I-130. That paperwork can be found on our website, and that's uscis.gov. There's a few other steps after that, but that's the first step in that process. And the other important thing is that when you become a U.S. citizen, you're eligible to vote, but you have to register to vote before you're able to vote in your local area. For most of you, you're on the Kansas side, but every county has a either election board or some sort of voter registration. I believe there are some cards in the packets that you can mail in, but if that doesn't work, you can go to your county's courthouse or your county's website, and they should have information on there about registering to vote. Make sure that you do register to vote, because you can't just show up on election day wanting to vote. They have to register you at least several weeks ahead of time. So those are just a few things that you'll probably have to get taken care of after today. But the ceremony will be fairly quick. And then, Judge, ready? All right, so we'll start here in just a second.
United States District Court for the District of Kansas is now in session. The Honorable Daniel D. Crabtree presiding. God save the United States in this honorable court.
Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Well, I guess you can't be seated. I'm so used to saying that. The good news is we're going to roll through this fast, so your standing won't be prolonged. We are convened today in a special session of court for the purpose of proceedings to recognize those who desire to become new citizens of the United States and have, through great effort, shown themselves to be qualified. My name is Dan Crabtree. I am a United States District Judge in the District of Kansas, the federal judicial district that covers the entire state of Kansas. I work here in this courthouse, and I have a number of judicial colleagues, some of whom will be presiding at other ceremonies later today. On their behalf, I do welcome you. This is not the way that naturalization ceremonies have always looked. We would often be in a bigger room with your family and supporters and friends. And while we considered waiting until we could do that in the full glory of their presence, we concluded that you had worked too hard and you shouldn't have to wait even one day longer. And so forgive our construction in the back. Forgive the narrowed down nature of the ceremony, but we wanted to get you to the finish line given all you have done. I hope you'll indulge me just a brief observation about our court system and the way that it fits into the naturalization proceedings. A lot has changed in the world since 1790. That's when our Congress enacted the first naturalization law, but one thing that hasn't changed is this. The pathway to citizenship since 1790 in our country has always traveled the same path that you travel today, and it has always involved a court session. To be sure, we've reconfigured your session today to comply with public health concerns, but we and you are upholding that tradition again. I also want to say just a brief bit about the role that our court system plays in our government. The tradition that is used by our Constitution gives judges an independence. They're not controlled by a king or a prime minister or even a president. Instead, they are controlled by the Constitution of the United States and the laws that Congress chooses to pass, so long as they are faithful to that Constitution. I now want to introduce Officer John King of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services for the purpose of introducing our prospective new citizens. Officer King.
May it please the court, Your Honor?
Counsel.
This morning, I would like to introduce 30 applicants for United States citizenship. These applicants come from 20 different countries. They've met the formal requirements imposed by law for United States citizenship. Upon taking the oath of allegiance, each will have the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities of United States citizenship. At this time, the government moves that the oath of allegiance be administered to the prospective citizens of the United States, and that all petitions for name change be granted.
Officer King, it's my great pleasure to sustain your motion. Your motion is granted. And I think we are now ready for the oath of citizenship to be applied. I know you have waited a long time for this. I introduce Deputy Clerk Megan Garrett of our court for that purpose. Ms. Garrett.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
It occurs to me that I skipped over part of this. Did I skip over the introduction of the citizens?
No, I don't think.
All right, good.
You're
Good.
spot on, Your Honor.
All right, I got it in the right sequence then. So it's my high privilege and great honor to address you for the first time in this way, my fellow citizens. I congratulate all of you. I cannot necessarily see your smiles, but I can feel them, and I know they're there. So I couldn't be happier for you. I couldn't admire you more for what you have done. Well done. Our country has always needed the talents and character and ideas of its new citizens. But if you've been reading the newspaper over the last year or so, you know that America needs her new citizens and their ideas now as much as ever. We need your talents, but we also need your devotion, your resilience, and your example. This is the passage where it says, I think I'm supposed to give some remarks. They're very brief. These are the remarks. I simply quote my favorite passage from the Declaration of Independence, a document I know you've become very familiar with. And that passage says this: we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That is what has happened here in this room this morning. You and I and your fellow new citizens have mutually pledged to one another our lives and our fortunes and our honor. As we close the ceremony today, I leave you my promise to do the very best that I can do for you, and I ask nothing less of all of you. Our special session of court is now adjourned.
Congratulations, everyone. Everybody's free to leave now, and I think, do they want them going out and around that side?
Ladies and gentlemen, look around you and make sure you have everything that you came in with, all the papers that you are supposed to have, and let me offer my personal congratulations to each and every one of you. I know you worked very, very hard to get to this point. We're going to be exiting through the side door, so if you follow me out through this door, then we'll go out.
Thank you.
Yes, if you want to take one real quick.
Congratulations, everybody. Have a good day.
Go ahead and grab them back and stand on any of the blue markers, okay? Do a couple here. Have a good one.
Yeah, just right after the side door.
Oh, yeah, no problem. You'll have to probably get people out of here.
We need to hurry because we got the others coming in.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Just go out through the side door.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. All righty. You guys have a wonderful day. Congratulations. Go ahead and grab a set of packets right there, and then go ahead and shoot any of the remarks in the room.
Take a packet and stand on one of the blue marks. Packet there, two not anywhere. One of those packets is blue mark on the floor. One of those packets and a blue mark out on the floor. Okay.
So what's going to happen here is once the judge is ready to come in, he'll be introduced by the court clerk. He'll come in, he'll make a few remarks. The ceremony itself is going to be fairly short because of the COVID restrictions. He'll make a few remarks and he'll end up introducing me to the court to make a motion. I'll make a motion introducing everybody and suggesting that he admit you all for citizenship to the United States. After that, the court clerk will administer the oath. When they administer the oath of allegiance, they'll say it out loud to you guys a few words or phrases at a time, and then you'll repeat after the court clerk. Just make sure you raise your right hand and you say the full oath unless you have some sort of conscientious objection. And then once the oath is complete, the judge will make a few more remarks before ending the ceremony. Once he ends the ceremony and he leaves, the court marshal will, or excuse me, the marshal will have you guys go out this side door, and there's a side entrance further down this hallway that leads you back to the main street that you came in on, okay? For those of you becoming citizens, obviously, we've taken your green card from you. That means if you do any international travel after today, you'll have to get a U.S. passport. We don't take any of your foreign passports from you. However, if you try to get back into the United States, you won't be able to get back in without a U.S. passport. That'll be one big thing, that if you do any international travel, you want to get one of those. Passports are issued by the United States Department of State. Their website is just travel.state.gov. Has all the information on there about how to apply for a passport, what you need to do, where you need to file. Some of you may want to petition or bring family members here to the United States to live permanently or to get family member status here in the United States. To do that, what you would do is you would file a form I-130 with USCIS. That form and all the information about filing that paperwork is on our website as well. That's uscis.gov. That form that you file basically proves the relationship that you have with that individual, and that's the first step in the process. And the whole process is actually on our website, and it details it out there for you guys. The last important thing is when you become a citizen, you can vote in federal elections and vote in elections. In order to do that, you do need to register to vote. There should be some voter registration information in the packets that we gave you for you guys to look at later. I think there's a card in there where you can mail it in. However, if you don't want to do that, usually every county has an election board, or at the county courthouse or the county website, they'll have details at your county website about how to register to vote. You need to do that at least 2 or 3 weeks before an election to be eligible to vote in that election. So I usually suggest people get the passport and register to vote pretty quickly after they become a citizen. That way they have that stuff on file and they're eligible to do so when they want to. Other than that, if you have any other questions, I can try to answer those for you. I know we're doing things pretty quickly and getting people in and out, but if there's a pressing question that you have, feel free to ask me or one of the other officers before you leave here today. Again, we apologize for the speed of the ceremony and the lack of, the pomp and circumstance that you guys deserve. We all know you work very hard, but we wanted to get you guys your citizenship quicker rather than wait months and months and months to get you your citizenship. So just hold off for a little bit. The judge will be here in a little while, and then we'll get things rolling.
If you happen to have a cellular phone, would you please make sure it is shut off? It's kind of embarrassing when they go off during the middle of the ceremony.
All rise. The United States District Court for the District of Kansas is now in session. The Honorable Daniel G. Crabtree presiding. God save the United States and this honorable court.
Good morning, everyone. I normally say be seated at this point, but I won't do that to you today. Welcome to the United States District Court for the District of Kansas, which is convened today in special session for the purpose of conducting proceedings for those persons who desire to become new citizens of the United States and have, through great diligence, shown themselves to be qualified. My name is Dan Crabtree. I am a United States District Judge in this judicial district, which covers the entire state of Kansas. My office is in this courthouse. And on behalf of my fellow judges and the professional staff of our district, I welcome you to the courthouse and to the court. This ceremony today is not everything we would like for it to be. We would normally be in the presence of your family, friends, and supporters in one of our nice courtrooms. But the public health concerns have trumped that practice, and so we have adjusted. We considered waiting until we could all gather in their presence. But after reflection, we concluded that you had worked too hard, you had done too much, and you shouldn't wait even one more day. A lot has changed in our country since 1790, when Congress passed the first naturalization law. But one thing that hasn't changed is this process and this ceremony. Ever since 1790, new citizens have traveled essentially the same path to become citizens of the United States, and that path has always included a judicial proceeding of some sort. And so today, you continue that now centuries-old tradition. I'll say just a little bit about our court. I hope you'll indulge this brief observation. I know you know this, you've studied it. Frankly, too many naturally born citizens don't know it. But just as a reminder, our court system is one of the branches of government that the Constitution specified. In our court system and in our constitutional system, of course, the judges of the court are not controlled by a king or queen or prime minister or even a president. Instead, they are controlled by the Constitution and the federal laws that Congress chooses to enact, so long as they are consistent with the Constitution. I now want to introduce Officer John King from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services for the purpose of introducing our new citizens. Officer King.
May it please the court, Your Honor?
Mr. King.
Thank you, sir. This morning, I would like to introduce 30 applicants for United States citizenship. These applicants come from 18 different countries. They have met the formal requirements imposed by law for United States citizenship. Upon taking the oath of allegiance, each will have the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities of United States citizenship. At this time, the government moves that the oath of allegiance be administered to the prospective citizens of the United States, and that all petitions for name change be granted.
Officer King, your motion is sustained. It's my great honor to grant it. Now we're on the brink of really the end of the road, the moment you have waited for. You will now receive the oath of citizenship, and I call upon Deputy Clerk Megan Garrett for that purpose. Ms. Garrett.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
So I have the high privilege and distinct honor of being the first to address you with this greeting. My fellow citizens, congratulations. I salute you, I admire you. I simply couldn't be any happier for you, for your families, and for your supporters. Our face coverings keep me from seeing your smiles. I'm pretty sure they're there. You can feel them up here. This is the part of the proceedings where it says that I make remarks. The good news is they're very brief. I'll simply say this. Our country has always needed the talents and character and ideas that its new citizens bring to our shores. If you've read the newspaper or watched the news over the last year or two, you know that our country needs your ideas and your character, your devotion and your resilience, and your example now more than ever. I'll close the ceremony with my favorite passage from the Declaration of Independence. Here's what it says. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. That is what has happened here in this room this morning. You and I, and you and your fellow citizens, have mutually pledged to one another your lives, your fortunes, and your sacred honor. As we close, I leave you with my promise that I will do my very best to fulfill my part of that promise. And I ask nothing less of all of you. Congratulations again. Godspeed all of you. This special session of court is now adjourned.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll look around your area and make sure that you have everything that you came in with, plus whatever papers that you received while you were here. Let me offer my personal congratulations to you. I know you've worked very hard to get to this point, and I'm really proud of each and every one of you. We will be exiting through the side of the building, so if you will follow me through this door, we'll go out this way.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you. Have a good day. More. Well, it's also Judge O'Hara for this seat next to. He's pro, so.
Besides, this cable isn't working as well as this was probably.
Ooh. There you go. Not something we do here.
Sit there and stare at myself.
Only so much I can do.
I would wish I could count, but I could just remote in.
Uh-huh.
I don't have to do that.
Well, no, that works.
It would save me so much time. Sitting on the phone, waiting to talk to somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about.
That must be atrocious for you. Doing what you do.
Well, and see, I used to work for Spectrum, and we had
Double up.
We had 20 boxes in our office area that I was responsible for. And we'd have glitches, and they wanted me to call corporate, go
Yeah.
to corporate people, they'd send the reboot, and it would work. And
I know, that's what drives me nuts. Like, why am I talking to somebody in a call center who's not out there, who doesn't know what I need done, who has
Right.
no idea what I'm talking about?
Well, what was doubly bad is they say, well, you can swap out the box. So I'd say, okay, you need to go up to the warehouse and grab one. I say, what? We have the warehouse in our building.
Yeah.
There are shelves of these. Can I just go grab one of those and tell you which one it is? No, you need to go to a store. Great.
Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
stand at any of the blue spots. It'll be just a minute and then everything will go pretty quick after everybody gets in here. Go ahead and grab one of those packets there, and you can stand on any of the blue marks.
What?
Yep. Just one for yourself? Yep.
Doesn't matter what's your package, right?
Nope.
Or leave my name on it, or?
Just grab any of those packets, sir. Just any of them. They're all the same. And then you can stand on any of the blue marks.
Thanks, sir.
Go ahead and grab any of those packets, and then go ahead and stand on any of the blue markers after you're done grabbing one of the packets. They're all the same. Yep, they're all the same. And then any of the blue marks, you can stand on any of them. Anywhere. You can grab any of those. They're all the same. Yeah, just grab. And you can grab any of those. They're all the same. Just grab one and you can have a stand on any of the blue markers. Yeah. And you can grab any of those packets right there. They're all the same. And then you can stand on any of the blue marks marked on the floor. Go ahead. Just grab one of those. They're all the same. And then you can stand anywhere. sir. And you can stand anywhere, there's a blue mark back there. There you are, sir. Anywhere there's a blue mark back there, you can have it. You can stand on one. Anyone, there's any sort of blue marker back there, you guys can see them. Shoot someone behind these people right there. You can go right into the packets there, and you see how many blue markers. ¿Hablas español? Este es el juego de pertenencia. So instead of you having a translator before, she just reads the paper, she's saying it that way.
Those of you that have cellular phones with you, would you please make sure they are shut completely off before the ceremony starts, please? Kind of embarrassing when they go off right in the middle of the ceremony.
Here are your packets. And then there's a blue dot right there, or anywhere you can find that blue dot. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah, I can grab a photo. Gotcha. Thank you so much. So once the ceremony, hello everyone, my name is Officer King. I'm with the Kansas City Field Office. Once the judge comes in, he'll be introduced by a court clerk. He'll come in, he'll make a few remarks before calling on me to introduce everybody to the court. I'll make a motion to the court to administer the oath of allegiance to everybody here, saying that you've met the qualifications for citizenship. And at that point, the judge will have the court clerk administer the oath out loud. At that point in the ceremony, everybody's going to raise their right hand. The court clerk will read the oath out loud, a few words or phrases at a time to everybody, and everybody's just going to repeat after the court clerk. That is the most important part of the ceremony. Make sure you say that full oath out loud. Once you say that full oath out loud, you'll be a U.S. citizen. The judge will make a few remarks after that, but the ceremony is going to be relatively brief due to the COVID concerns and the restrictions we have. We apologize for that. Once the ceremony is over, the court marshal will have everybody go out this door, and there's a side exit down this hallway that you came in on. You'll go out this side exit, and then there's a path that leads to the street that you came in on as well. You'll notice that we've taken your green cards at check-in. Once you become U.S. citizens, if you do any international travel after that, you'll need a United States passport to get back into the United States. The passports are issued by the U.S. State Department. Their website is just travel.state.gov. On that website, it has all the information about how to get a passport, what paperwork you need to file, where you need to file it, what costs are, things like that. And you can do that at any time after you say the oath today. For those of you who have family members that you want to bring here to the United States to live permanently or to get them status here in the United States, the first step in that process is to file a form I-130, that's 130, and that can be found at our website at uscis.gov. All the information about how to petition for your family members and the forms you need to file, it's all there on our website, and that information is just available to anybody at any time. The last thing that's very important is that when you become a citizen, you're eligible to vote in federal elections here in the United States. But in order to do that, you have to register to vote before you can actually go and vote in an election. There should be some documentation in your packets, some voter registration information. But should you lose that or should you need to go where to go, every county has an election board or some sort of election commission. So you can go to your county courthouse or to your county government's website, and it'll have information on there about how to register to vote. You usually need to register at least 2 or 3 weeks before any election to be eligible to vote in an election. But once you're registered, as long as you don't move, you should be able to vote at any time after that in any other election. So the judge is going to start. You're all the way down now. So we're going to start the proceedings here in a little bit. Again, we apologize that it's a very quick ceremony, but we opted to do that and get you guys your citizenship as soon as possible, as opposed to waiting many more months, because we know some of you guys have been waiting maybe even upwards of a year now because of the COVID pandemic. So thank you for your patience, and we'll begin here shortly, okay?
Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
All rise. The United States District Court for the District of Kansas is now in session. The Honorable James P. O'Hara presiding.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the United States District Court for the District of Kansas is convened in special session today. We'll be entertaining a motion by the United States of America, acting by and through its naturalization examiner, for those of you who have wished to become and have shown yourselves qualified to become new citizens of the United States. My name is James O'Hara, and it's my pleasure to currently serve as the Chief Magistrate Judge of the District of Kansas. And it's a great honor for me to share in this very important occasion for all of you. I want to welcome all of you who are about to become new citizens, as well as relatives and friends who may be viewing via YouTube. I'm pleased also to have the assistance of my courtroom deputy, Ms. Sarah Spiegel, and her daughter, Ellie Spiegel, is going to help in the process as well. Ms. Spiegel will administer the formal oath of citizenship in just a moment. Now, those of you who are becoming new citizens today, I believe know that This is a path to citizenship that's traditional for most citizens of the United States. And what I mean by that is most of us are citizens who have become naturalized through this process, or we have ancestors who came to this country many years ago, whether to simply gain financial freedom, but more importantly to gain economic freedom, political freedom, and to escape oppression and to seek opportunities to improve not only their welfare, but also for their children and the generations to follow. Congress passed the first naturalization law more than 225 years ago, back in 1790. And since then, there's always been some form of judicial proceeding as part of the naturalization process. And as I mentioned, I'm delighted to be a small part of it. With that, I'd like to recognize Mr. John King from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Mr. King, you have
May
the
it please
floor.
the court, Your Honor?
It does.
Thank you, sir. This morning, I would like to introduce 30 applicants for United States citizenship. These applicants come from over 20 different countries. They've met the formal requirements imposed by law for United States citizenship. Upon taking the oath of allegiance, each will have the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities of United States citizenship. At this time, the government moves that the oath of allegiance be administered to the prospective citizens of the United States, and that all petitions for name change be granted.
Thank you, Mr. King. Without objection and with great pleasure, the motion is hereby granted.
If you please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name, hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God.
Thank you, Ms. Beagle. Please allow me the privilege of being the very first to congratulate you as brand new citizens of the United States. You bring with you many diverse talents, experiences, and hopes for the future, and this country is a better and stronger place with you among its citizens. But today you join your fellow citizens and our forefathers in the continuing challenge to make the United States yet a better place to live in peace and to build upon its foundation as a land of freedom and liberty. With our warmest congratulations, we salute you and we wish you well in your new status as citizens of the great United States of America. I also want to say I appreciate everybody's patience with this process, with the pandemic that we've been operating under for the last year or so. These ceremonies have taken on a different cast. And I would encourage you, if time permits in the future, when the pandemic eases, to come back and see another naturalization ceremony where we have family and friends gathered together in the ceremonial courtroom upstairs. It's even stranger in this situation because you may have noticed the plastic in the back of the room. We had a fairly significant fire in the courthouse earlier this year, so almost the entire courthouse is under reconstruction, and people have been moving about, and the Marshal Service, court security officers, and the like have been really struggling and doing very well to make things still operational. So we appreciate your patience. In any event, I do hope that your new status as citizens brings you the joy and happiness that it's brought to many others who have taken the same step that you have here today. Please remember that with the rights and privileges of citizenship come the responsibilities and the duty to similarly respect the rights and privileges of your fellow citizens. We live, I think, these days in a pretty fractured society, split pretty sharply among Democrats and Republicans, blue states and red states. But make sure that you take the opportunity to listen to your fellow citizens. Engage purposefully with people who disagree with you, and do so respectfully, and hopefully we can reach better decisions. I'd also encourage you to avail yourself of the privileges of citizenship, most importantly, voting. We've just concluded a voting cycle, but there will be another one upon us very quickly. We have voting packets and information available to you. Unlike other countries, voting is not mandatory in the United States. But respectfully, I would submit it's among the most important things that you can do as a citizen. I'd also encourage you, if you do register to vote, and hopefully you will, if you're then summoned to serve on a jury, whether it be in Wyandotte County, Johnson County, any of the outlying counties on either side of the state line, or in federal court, respond to that summons. The duty and indeed the honor to help your fellow citizens resolve disputes is really critically important. I could tell you as a former trial lawyer, I would much rather, whether I was representing a plaintiff or a defendant, whether it be a civil case or a criminal case, I'd much rather have 12 smart people in a room as opposed to simply one judge trying to make that decision. Many people try to get out of jury duty. It's a big mistake. I think you're losing a big opportunity. I've been on the court now 21 years, and I can honestly tell you I've not had a single instance where any juror has told me at the conclusion of the case that they didn't really like it and enjoy it. And that includes all the people that tried to get out of it on the front end. So use that opportunity. I don't think you'll regret it. In any event, as we conclude, I trust you will accept and discharge all of your responsibilities with courage and fidelity to the United States of America. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're now adjourned. Thank you. I'd love to shake all of your hands, but the pandemic situation suggests maybe not. Thank you all. One second. Oh. I'll go where Ellie goes.
Okay, make sure you look around your area, make sure you brought everything, you have everything that you brought in, the additional papers that you have. I'd like to offer my personal congratulations for what you've accomplished at this point. You worked real hard to get where you are, and now you're there, okay? We're going to be exiting through the side door.
Thank you.
Please follow me.
Can I get one of these little flags?
Yeah, everybody grab a flag.
How do I know he's about to sell?
That's a good question for USCIS. I believe Mr. King.
Sorry. My son is president.
Does he have his green card? Is he here living with you?
Yeah.
So he technically is a citizen now as of when you said the oath. The only thing you need to do is in order to get him his certificate, go on our website. See our website. The form is N600. You'll fill out and you'll submit that form. And then once the form gets approved, they'll make him a certificate and have you come to the office to pick it up. When you go get, if you have to go get a passport or travel, when you go and get the passport, there is a way to get him a passport even if you don't have the certificate yet. Because the certificate to get your son.
Congratulations, have a
very
good day.
expensive. It's like $1,200. He can do that at any time in his whole life. But when you go to get the passport, even if they want you to send a certificate, if you don't have one, there is a way you can show them documentation, and they'll still issue him a passport for the short term. Okay? But to get him his certificate, it's the N-600 form. But legally, he became a citizen when you said the oath. But getting the proof is what you can do. And that is the N-600 gives you the certificate for it. Okay? But you'll just go to the website, and it's the N-600, and you can actually file it online. And then you fill out all the information and you pay. Once they approve it, they'll have you come to our office to sign for it. Okay?
So for the passport, do I need to some kind of proof for my little son?
For him, when you go to do yours, if you go to the State Department's website, it'll tell you the information you need to provide to them. If you do not have the certificate, there's another link on there that asks for other proof. You can still get him a passport even if you don't have a certificate yet. But it's on their website about what documents you need to show, because you have to send the right documents. But at first they say send the certificate, but there's a way to get it without the certificate on there. And it's all on that website. And I think it's travel.state.gov. But you'll fill out the N-600 and then the passport, you can get this passport sent to the State Department. You are welcome. You have a good day, okay?
Just find you a blue spot on the floor back there somewhere. Any one of them would be fine, and find a blue mark on the floor. Yeah, take two, yep. Go there. Find a blue spot on the floor. There we go. Just find a blue spot somewhere on the floor.
Hello, everyone. My name is Officer King. I'm with the Kansas City Field Office of Citizenship and Immigration Services. So in a little bit, once everybody's in here, the court clerk will come in and announce the judge. The judge will come into the main podium here. He'll make a few remarks. He'll eventually call on me to make a motion before the court. That's where I'll introduce everybody and ask that the court administer the oath of citizenship in that you've all met the requirements imposed by law for citizenship. The judge will grant the motion, and then the court clerk will administer the oath out loud. She'll read the oath out loud to you guys, a few words or phrases at a time. While you're saying the oath, make sure you have your right hand raised and you say the full oath out loud. That is the most important part of the ceremony. After you say that oath out loud, that's legally when you become a citizen. The judge will make a few more remarks, and then after a little bit, he'll end the proceedings. After the judge leaves, the court marshal will have you guys exit out this door over here, and there's a side exit down that same hall you came in that you'll be going out, and then there's a path that leads you out to the street that you guys came in on, okay? We apologize that the ceremony is going to be fairly short because of COVID concerns. We thought about doing bigger ceremonies later on, but we didn't want to delay people's citizenship any longer than we had to. So we wanted to get you guys your citizenship as soon as possible. You'll notice that we've taken your green cards from you because you won't need those anymore. If you do any international travel after today, you'll have to get a U.S. passport. We do not take your foreign passports, but if you want to come back into the United States after you leave, you'll have to be showing them a U.S. passport. That's the only way you're going to get back in. The U.S. State Department is the agency that issues the passport. Their website is travel.state.gov. On that website, it has the application, what forms you need to file with it, and how you can file for a passport. You guys can do that at any point after you say the oath today, okay? For those of you who want to petition for alien relatives to have someone come and live here, like a parent or a spouse or somebody, the first step in that process is to file a form I-130, that's 130. That form and all the other information about how to file for your family members is on our website, and that's uscis.gov. If you have any questions for me after the ceremony, I can try to answer those questions for you. And then the last item is that once you become a citizen, you're technically eligible to vote. But in order to vote, you have to register beforehand. So you can go to your local county's courthouse or their website, and they'll have an election board that'll be able to tell you how to register. There's also some voter registration information in the packets that we've given you. So the judge will be in here in just a minute, and then we'll start the ceremony, okay?
United States District Court for the District of Kansas is now in session. The Honorable James P. O'Hara presiding.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Your Honor.
The United States District Court for the District of Kansas is convened today in special session for naturalization proceedings. We'll entertain a motion by the United States of America and its naturalization examiner for those of you who wish to become and have shown yourselves qualified to become new citizens of the United States. My name is James O'Hara, and I currently serve as the Chief U.S. Magistrate Judge for the District of Kansas. And it is my honor and privilege to share in this important occasion with you. I want to welcome all of you who are about to become new citizens, as well as family and friends who may be viewing by remote means. I'm also pleased to have the assistance today of my courtroom deputy, Ms. Sarah Spiegel, and Sarah's daughter, Ellie, is observing today's proceedings as well. Ms. Spiegel will be the one who actually will administer the oath of citizenship to you in just a few moments. Now, those of you who will become new citizens today, remind us that this is a path of citizenship for most citizens of the United States. And what I mean by that is most of us either, like you, have become naturalized through this process, or we have ancestors who have come to this country generations in the past. All of us, in one form or another, have come to this country to gain freedom, to escape oppression, and to seek opportunities to improve our general welfare, not just for ourselves, but for our family and friends in the generations to follow. Congress passed the first naturalization law back in 1790, and since then there's always been some form of judicial proceeding as part of the process, and I'm delighted and honored to be a small part of that. At this time, let me recognize Mr. John King from United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, who will introduce the new citizens. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. This morning, I would like to introduce 32 applicants for United States citizenship. These applicants come from over 20 different countries. They have met the formal requirements imposed by law for United States citizenship. Upon taking the oath of allegiance, each will have the rights, the privileges, and the responsibilities of United States citizenship. At this time, the government moves that the oath of allegiance be administered to the prospective citizens of the United States and that all petitions for name change be granted.
Without objection and with great pleasure, the motion is hereby granted.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Spiegel?
Can you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, please state your name. Hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, so help me God. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Spiegel. Please allow me the privilege of being the very first person to congratulate you as brand new citizens of the United States. You bring with you, of course, many diverse talents, experiences, and hopes for the future. And the United States is truly a better country with you among its citizens. But today you join your fellow citizens and our forefathers in a continuing challenge to make the United States yet a better place, to live in peace and to build upon its foundation as a land of freedom and liberty. With our warmest congratulations, we salute you and wish you all the best as citizens of this great United States of America. Before we close, I do want to thank you all for your patience and your flexibility during these pandemic situations. I want to encourage you, if your schedules permit in the future, to come back to this courthouse and observe a regular naturalization ceremony that doesn't have COVID-19 restrictions. It's a really fun affair. I mean, in a courthouse, when we try civil and criminal cases, we generally know that about 50% of the group is going to walk out at the end of the day a little bit unhappy. Naturalization proceedings are different. I mean, there's singing, there's marching by the Sons of the American Revolution, there's speechifying, It's really kind of a fun event. So I'd encourage you to check our website and come back and see one of those maybe later on this year. We'll also hopefully be done with the reconstruction of this courthouse. We had, as you can see from the back of this room, some remediation work underway. We had a fairly significant electrical fire in recent months, and it's created havoc, so people are having to move all over the place. And I want to thank the court security officers, the marshals, our clerk's office staff for kind of moving things around and making sure that we can still make programs like this available to citizens, since this is a time-sensitive issue. I'd also encourage you, as you become new citizens, to exercise your rights and your duties as well. Most notably voting. I think packets may have already been provided to you. Some may be over here on the side of the room. I strongly urge you to get registered to vote. It's not a legal requirement, but respectfully, I do submit that it is a duty to have an informed electorate in our country. You'll have better politicians if you vote more often and encourage your family and friends to vote as well. Also, if you're summoned to serve on a jury, take that opportunity. That, again, is one of the highest duties of citizenship, to help resolve disputes among your fellow citizens, or to even decide whether certain of your fellow citizens who are accused of crimes should be convicted and sent to prison, or whether they ought to remain at liberty. That system comes down to us from the English, centuries ago, and it is critically important to a functioning democracy. So please don't pass up that opportunity. It's not just a drudgery. It's not a chore. You will really enjoy it. Everybody I've talked to after a trial has been concluded, even including the people that tried to get out of jury service on the front end, really enjoyed it. So seize that opportunity. In closing, I do hope that your new status as citizens brings you the joy and happiness that it's brought others who have taken the same step that you have today. As I said, please remember that with these privileges of being a citizen come responsibilities, and most notably the duty to respect the views and the opinions and the rights of your fellow citizens, even those with whom you most vigorously disagree. I trust that you will accept and discharge all of your responsibilities with courage and fidelity to the United States of America. With that, ladies and gentlemen, and with our warmest regards, we're now adjourned. I apologize I cannot shake everybody's hand at this point, given the COVID-19 restrictions. But again, congratulations to all of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to offer you my personal congratulations. I know you've gone through a whole lot to get to this point, and you've earned it. Make sure you've got everything that you came in with, and whatever additional papers that you have been picked up while you're in here. We're going to be exiting the building through the side door. Grab your